What's up, guys? It's Megadan29. I'm coming at you with another What's on Megadan's Mind here. So, today I was sitting here thinking, and I've thought this a lot, but ever since I started doing these little videos here, I definitely wanted to know your intake on this as well and what you guys would think. So, I wanted to get this off my back here. So, what are your guys' thoughts with AEW? That is a wrestling organization. They're possibly thinking about bringing out a video game here soon, and they want to get back on the stage. And they're thinking about making like a No Mercy type of game. WWF No Mercy, that same engine on the N64. My understanding, they got a hold of Aki or whatever it is, or THQ, to try to get that going and get it made. And I thought it was really interesting because I thought, wow, I don't even watch wrestling. I haven't watched wrestling in a really long time on a regular basis. It's been years. I mean, since I watched wrestling every week, you're talking early 2000s is when I watched wrestling. So I'm thinking in my head, though, if that really happened and they really came out with the engine of the N64, oh my gosh, I would totally buy that game. I mean, for sure, 100%. If it looked just like the N64 one and it controlled like it, I don't care what the roster is, I would totally give it a try with new HD graphics and stuff like that. So that got me thinking. I was thinking, like, if you're Nintendo, okay, let's just pick on Nintendo here. If you're Nintendo and you have access to making whatever you want, why wouldn't you not remake? I almost screwed up there. Not remake. What if you had the opportunity to make, let's just say, a new Mario game or a new Zelda game, but with 8-bit graphics? So you look at something like Zelda Outlands, okay? Zelda Outlands is a hack. If you're not aware of it, look it up. Zelda Outlands is a hack of basically the first Legend of Zelda game on the NES. They used the same engine and they made this new quest. And from my understanding, they just place things in different spots, and it's just somebody that enjoys Legend of Zelda 1, which is pretty much everybody, to go ahead and play a new quest where you can experience that again, right? So I thought in my head, like, why doesn't actual Nintendo do that? Why don't they do that? Why don't we have a new Punch-Out with the 8-bit graphics and come out for, even if it's like on the eShop, okay? Why don't we have a new one that we can play and re-experience? New characters, new stuff, new story, but same graphics, same engine, right? I mean, you look at back in the day, and you look at how hard it was for developers to make these games and how long they took because where technology was at, right? But now that we're in 2020, you wonder why they can't take the computers and their teams and make a new 8-bit or 16-bit game like some of these indie developers do, but stick Nintendo's name on it and come out with a new Punch-Out. Now, I think the normal opinion would be, well, you know, are the new kids gonna like that? And, you know, people like my son's age, he's 12, or my kid that's 4, you know, people that are, they play the Switch sometimes, but would they give a crap about that stuff, or would they just think it's completely stupid? And it's very possible they would. But it's like, you know, for us, there's enough retro heads out there, or people that own Switches that are fans of the old stuff, that I think would buy these games, and they would, I mean, how much would it cost for them to really make it? Yeah, it couldn't be that much, man. It couldn't be that bad. I mean, back in the day, I just read a thing on the Contra collection that I think Super C or Contra 3 Alien Wars, one of those, I think it was Contra 3 Alien Wars, was made by 4 or 5 people at a table. And Gradius was made by another 4 or 5 people at a table. So, I mean, there you go. That's how much manpower you realistically need to make this game. And you have the technology of 2020. Some of these indie developers are 2 or 3 people making these games. So if you're professional people like Nintendo or Sony or whatever, you couldn't make stuff like that with today's technology and make like a Mario 2 Back to Dream World or something like that, where it just shows maybe Mario going to sleep again, and you play this whole new quest, and you go after Wart again, and he's the last boss, and Mauser's in it, and Clyde. You couldn't come out with that again? With maybe some like 8-bit HD graphics and a new game, and then sell it for like, I don't know, $30? Dude, everybody would buy it. Everybody would buy it. You know, I find that really hard to believe they wouldn't. And same thing with something like Punch-Out, and that's less popular. Punch-Out is definitely, but why don't we get a new Zelda that's actually like part of the Nintendo franchise, where it's top-down view again, maybe 16-bit like Link to the Past, and call it whatever, and have a new quest? So, especially for people that are not huge fans of, let's say, Breath of the Wild, they're not big fans of the whole open world, running around, doing all that stuff, maybe they'd be fans of the old school 16-bit, 8 dungeons, whatever, run around the world, get the weapons, get the stuff for your next dungeon. They couldn't get, like, 10 people with today's technology to make a new one? And add it and make it awesome? You know what I'm saying? That just kind of blows my mind. Such a popular game. Like, how many people sit there and say, oh, Link to the Past is my favorite Super Nintendo game. Link to the Past is my favorite Legend of Zelda game of the whole series, of the whole franchise. That's my favorite one. Dude, a lot of people say that. A lot of people look at Mario and go, man, my favorite Mario? Oh, Mario 3, man. Mario World. Those are my favorites. Mario World's the best. I mean, even my kid who's 4 has fun playing Mario World and Mario 3. You couldn't take the 16-bit graphics of Super Mario World and call it like Super Mario World Return to Dinosaur Land? And you have to go back and maybe Yoshi's in trouble and you have to do something and Bowser's back and you have the same type of adventure where you have secrets and keys you got to collect and all the bonus stages. Like, I can't believe they don't do that. I can't believe they don't do that. It'd have to be very inexpensive to do that. You'd have to have not a whole lot of manpower on it. And you could put out whatever you wanted. And come on, guys. Zelda or Mario, everybody's going to buy it. You could probably sell it for $60 and everybody would buy it. Everybody buys the new Mario parties. Everybody buys those. Hashing over the same thing pretty much. Doing the same thing. Not that big of a deal. They wouldn't buy a new Link to the Past or a new Mario World? I find that really hard to believe if you don't think so. So that was just what I want to know what your thoughts were. But that's just mind-blowing to me that Nintendo doesn't do that. I think Captain Retro said it best. Captain Retro once said that there needed to be like a Nintendo Switch Retro division, calling it something like that, where they basically make these old games. Like another thing real quick that I could get on. Another thing they could do. Why didn't Konami make another 8-bit or 16-bit Contra? Instead, we got Rogue Core, which, everybody has their mixed feelings about that. Most people hate it. I don't hate it. But, yes, it could have been a lot better. And you look at a Nintendo hack, okay, if you don't know what it is, an NES hack called Contra Revenge of the Red Falcon. I have streamed it, actually, if you want to go look at it. Check that out and tell me that couldn't be a Contra game. Another 8-bit Contra game. I mean, amazing. Amazing. Something like Blazing Chrome that was very impressive and did very well. Konami couldn't do stuff like that? Put 10 people on it? Big business like Konami couldn't get that figured out, couldn't put the big top dogs of Contra on top of it and came out with a good product? I find that really hard to believe. So that's just what I want to know your guys' thoughts on. Let me know what you think. Let me know what other franchises you'd like to see. And thank you for joining me. Have a good day, guys. God bless.